All right. We're here.
Yeah, oh yeah.
We're in it. We're back. It's been like 4 weeks since I've done one.
That's
podcast.
crazy. Yeah. You guys did a live.
We did a live, and then everybody
on Halloween or whatever.
Yeah, then we pumped out we emptied our clip, so to speak.
Yep. All the backlog stuff.
So, let's see. So the last episode we didn't do our Showdown Swaps because that was banked.
It was banked. So we have those this episode.
So we do have that. Now, first things first, shout out to our friends over at Dubby.
Oh, yeah. It's good stuff, man.
Yeah. Got to get your daily Dubby dose. Your tubby of Dubby.
Your triple D or whatever. Daily Dubby dose. Yeah, all right.
So go over there. Go to dubby.gg.
Mm-hmm.
And you use the promo code. You get 10% off, and you get your energy. You get the old tub. They do actually do a lot of deals.
They do.
If you sign up for their, I know people hate emails, but if you sign up for their emails, they send you like deals like pretty often.
Yeah. Yep.
It's kind of cool.
For sure.
It's like, I don't know. So yeah, we're back. So we're going to do these Showdown Swap matches, which were interesting.
Yeah. Well, see, the one you gave me was pretty chill, though.
Yeah, it was just like different, I guess.
Yeah. Well, so you gave me a dark match that WWE had posted on their WWE Vault page, which is really cool. You should go check it out. There's a lot of cool stuff on that Vault page on
there
YouTube.
is.
But at the time that we recorded the last episode, this match had recently just gotten posted, probably because it was close to Halloween. And it was friggin' Mortis, dude.
Yeah, I forgot about Mortis.
I did not forget about Mortis. I thought Mortis was so fucking cool when we were kids, man.
Yeah. Well, I like Canyon. So.
I love Canyon. Yeah. He is super underrated.
Because we had actually talked about Canyon.
Yeah, I think so.
Right before that happened.
Yeah. Yeah, which was weird because then they put it out.
Yeah, they put it out like immediately after we were talking about it.
So I watched the match, like no question I was going to watch it because I wanted to see Mortis, and Mortis was so cool and underused.
I thought it was just cool that it was Austin Aries.
Well, that's the other thing too, is it was Austin Aries, and he looked incredible in that match.
Yeah.
Mortis looked good. Here's the things I noticed. I'll go over all my notes real quick. I don't have many, and I didn't even write them down because I just know them. Mortis... So Canyon working as Canyon, obviously anybody that knows Canyon and like is our age and grew up watching or older and they saw Canyon's work.
Yeah.
He was known as the innovator of offense for a reason. He would always be doing really cool, creative, unorthodox stuff.
Yeah.
But it felt to me watching this like everything he was doing was a different style than how he normally worked as Canyon. Like he was adapting his style to be character. Mortis. Very cool. The main thing I saw him do, the one move I saw him do that it has to get mentioned because it was so fucking cool. He did some cool unorthodox stuff, but the big one was he did this like reverse lion tamer. Like you know how Jericho used to do the lion tamer, not the Walls of Jericho. Walls of Jericho has always been kind of just a Boston Crab, but the lion tamer was when he was like standing and had his knee in the guy's back and stuff. Fucking Canyon did it where he had the guy on. The setup was so weird. The end result was him with a guy in a lion tamer, but he's facing the other way and cranking the guy. It was nasty.
Oh yeah.
And it looked wicked good. And I remember seeing that and going, what?
Yeah, that is a weird submission.
Super weird, super cool. Don't know why I've never seen it again since.
Yeah, I forgot about that because I didn't watch it again. I watched it when it came out on the thing, and then that was it.
Yep, yeah. Austin was selling his ass off for him, but got in a surprising amount of offense. Like, it was kind of a 50-50 match, which made me think, like, I wonder if, like, they already knew they had Canyon, right? They already did. They already had hired him, and it seemed like they were kind of just seeing how people reacted to the Mortis thing.
Yeah.
But it also seemed like they were kind of using that as a trial for Austin.
Kind of gauging the...
Because he was doing a lot more than I expected out of that kind of match, you know, a freaking 4-minute whatever match on a dark show.
But, I mean,
you know,
of course you'd want to. You know, like, if even if it's a dark... Like, if you're in a dark match, it's WWE or still, so... Or it's...
Yeah,
so it's like WWE. You're still in a... You're still in a situation where you know that there's people scouting.
Oh, yeah. So, if anything, I don't know who was in charge of that match. I don't know if that was Canyon's call or what that was, but giving Austin that amount of offense was cool for him. Mm-hmm. Whoever did that is cool. And hopefully it wasn't he just took it. It didn't look like it was. It looked like him and Canyon had a good thing going.
Yeah. Seemed like they cooperated.
The crowd was surprisingly dull for that because it wasn't even a shitty match. It was cool.
Well, I don't even remember the last time I was at like a big wrestling event. It would have been WCW, but like I don't know if people are still filing in when there's dark matches and shit.
It is. Like, I mean, I went to Raw in the 90s, so like a few years before this match happened, I went to a live Raw taping. It was actually the last one ever in Syracuse, New York. It was where the main event was Bret Hart versus Psycho Sid in a cage match. And then Austin and Undertaker got involved, and they started tearing the cage down, and Bret cut a promo saying this is bullshit and stuff, and he shoved Vince. I was there for that. I was ramp side. Yeah, I was sick. That was a great show. But my point is there was a whole bunch of dark matches before the main card started that was televised. And after that, they filmed Shotgun Saturday Night. So we were there forever, dude. It was like a 7-hour thing.
Yeah, they're long.
It was ridiculous. And not because of 7 hours of matches. It's like you're in there, you're filing in, you're there for almost like an hour and a half to 2 hours.
And then there's
dark matches.
Yeah.
Then it cools down. Then
and if it's live too, it's
thing.
like
it was
TV commercial breaks and all that.
And they're telling you for 20 minutes before it starts, they're counting down, going, okay, when it goes, everybody flip out and stuff. And then the pyro goes off and you're deaf for like 20 minutes, just but anyways, so they could have been filing in.
I think they're probably, if it was like before the show or whatever, I think that's possible.
Now, what was weirder than that to me, I get why it was weirder, but I have seen the shows live. I've been there, and you don't have commentary when you're live, which I don't like. I think commentary is huge in the overall presentation of the product.
Yeah.
And this didn't have commentary. That was weird to me. And I think it's just because I was watching something on a screen and I didn't hear commentary. It's like, oh wow, yeah, but there wouldn't have been, because it wasn't a televised thing. Right. It was just a live. They had a raw feed. They found the footage and went, oh, we got to air this.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder who's digging through those files,
Whoever it is, that's got to be such a cool job.
Because you're getting, you're having to go through
the amount of matches they've got to see. All these matches with dudes like, oh, it's whoever, Oh, it's Seth Rollins. I don't know if this happened, but just a hypothetical example, like, oh, this is some random dark match where he had a tryout before he was ever even in NXT or something, And he wrestled as some bullshit name. I'm not saying Seth did that, but you would have to see so many matches like that as the guy funneling through tape. But yeah, overall, it was really cool seeing Mortis. It was cool seeing him work a different style. It made me go, man, I got to go back and watch some Canyon stuff. He was so good in WCW. He was incredible. I feel so bad for how he got handled in WWE, and he's one of the bigger what if guys for me. Of like, man, that dude had it all.
You could make
and
a strong
got
argument.
mishandled.
Yeah.
And what could he have been if they used him right?
Yeah.
You know? But that might have been some of his own doing. I don't know. That's a conversation for another day. Now, the match I gave you. The match I gave you.
Okay, so I don't know when this would. So this would be like mid to late 90s, I guess.
Yeah, mid 90s. Mid 90s. Yeah. Early days of Nitro. Pre NWO, I believe. Oh, maybe it might have been. And you know what? It might have been right around the same time of the NWO like first starting.
Maybe this is there. WCW is like established at this point, though.
Oh, for sure, and it's on Nitro.
Yeah.
It was an early match on early Nitro.
Dangerous Devon Storm
versus Conan.
So there was, first of all, before the match even happens, there's a power plant commercial. WCW power plant.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, what? I forgot about that. They did like their own training center type thing.
Yeah, dude, early days too.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. So it was kind of ahead of its time, I guess, if you think about it. So instantly, Devon Storm immediately goes out and gets a chair.
Yeah,
just for no reason.
And he goes out, he looks for a chair, doesn't find one.
Yeah, he checks the middle and then there's nothing there. And then he goes over the corner. And then he puts the chair in the ring and then he just uses it to jump over the rope to suicide dive with.
Dude.
Why you're going, okay, wait, why did he need that?
It gets even worse though.
So then he puts Conan into the chair, just sits him in the chair, and then he puts the stairs like right in front of him. And then he runs up. Conan catches him in a power bomb and
sloppy ass,
smashes him in front of the fucking like ramp. Oh, dude, it was so fucking wild. It starts off boom, like instantly.
Yep.
The commentary was killing me because it's Bischoff.
It is, yeah, it's Bischoff.
And oh my God, dude, some of the fucking lines, I was like dying, dude. So he jumps off the stairs, yeah, he does the powerbomb. The pace I thought was actually good. Like it was pretty quick and they were
nonstop.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there is a caveat to that.
Yeah.
It's the slowest, sloppiest, least coordinated luchador style stuff I've ever seen. But it's still nonstop.
You could tell what they were going for.
Yeah, yes.
But it wasn't
You
quite
can tell what
hitting.
they're going for, but oh boy.
Yeah, they weren't quite hitting the note, like punctuating properly. And then so Bischoff goes, this match is the wrestling what Talladega is the car racing.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Who's on with him, Bobby?
I think so.
He just is like, what?
What does that even mean, dude? Is he trying to say it's fast or what's going on?
Right? It's like, dude, every single NASCAR race is the same.
Dude, I don't know. I just thought it was like it was kind of a fun match to watch, just because like it was quick.
It's only a few minutes long.
It's like 7-8 minutes or something. The whole video,
whole product. Yep.
But like, man, I don't know. Dangerous Devon Storm, dude, that was hilarious.
And I've never seen that guy again.
I love how we gave. Yeah, I feel like we almost give each other the same type of match in some weird way.
Somehow, without talking, weird ass matches. Yep, for sure.
Well, so I guess then we got to give the next ones. Let me take a look here. What I got? It ain't that one. All right. Okay, this one's fucking good. I'm gonna go back to Lucha Underground.
Okay.
This is from the end of the second season. At the end of every season they do Ultima Lucha, which is kind of like their WrestleMania type thing. It's like their big event.
Mm-hmm.
Ultima Lucha Dos. It's Vampiro versus Pentagon Jr. It's a really good match. And I have also the like some of the lead up to it. I have like 4 links here. So some of it is like vignettes, like just like some of the promos and stuff like that.
Sure, yeah. I want to see that stuff
but
too.
This is the first match Vampiro had.
Okay.
It would have been a fucking long time. He retired basically, and then he was doing commentary for them. So he came back in the match with Pentagon, and a lot of people think that was like, as a singles match, it was probably, I would argue it's the best singles match next to, well, there's another one on the list too, but there's one with Prince Puma that was really good. I think it was like Johnny Mundo or something. Him and Prince Puma. There's 2 of them that I could like, that are tough for me to say which one was the best, but out of single matches, it's up there. It's kind of a bloody match too. It's kind of brutal.
So the match that I'm giving you is incredible. Absolutely incredible. It's Kazuchika Okada versus Kenny Omega at Wrestle Kingdom 11.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one of the best matches I've legit ever seen.
I haven't seen this match.
That's gonna blow your mind.
Yeah, I want to see more like I've been meaning to see more Kenny Omega. Like,
I gave you a really, really weird, random, not great match last time. So this time I was like, I gotta give him one of the best I've ever seen. And I wanted to mix it up and not just be like, Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 25.
Yeah, I don't want
incredible match. I think you've seen it a few times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I don't want to just like bombard with like best matches ever. It's like,
let's just go WrestleMania matches one by one. It's like, all right, we could do that, sure. But I wanted to give you something Kenny, because he's one of my favorites ever. I think he's like the best guy ever to not work in WWE.
Oh yeah, he's definitely up
to
there
me,
for sure.
In my opinion. Okada's way up there too.
I don't think most people would argue with that.
I don't know who else you could point to.
It's like a Fedor situation.
Yeah, I don't know who else you could point to, especially because it looks like Kenny might never go. You know, now that he's going through health stuff.
He won't.
Although, to be fair, he did just recently announce that he's good. He's returning to the ring in Japan.
I don't think he's ever gonna go there.
I don't either, man. Which is a bummer. I wish he would for just some dream matches before he retires. You know?
Yeah, even if it's like a story arc.
I'm not even worried about a story arc as much with him. I'm more worried like, hey, show these people why you're one of the best ever. Come in. Yeah. Have a feud with Seth Rollins or something. You guys have a match. Everybody
who's just
wants
a pillar.
that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
And then if you retire, cool. Or work AJ Styles or something.
Yeah.
Would be unreal, you know?
I just don't see it happening. That's all.
I don't see it happening either. It would just be cool to see.
Unfortunate, but
anyways, that's the match. Kenny versus Okada, Wrestle Kingdom 11. They also had a 2 out of 3 falls at Dominion in like 2018 or 19 or something like that. That's incredible. But the Wrestle Kingdom one was the first match I saw between those two guys, and it absolutely blew my mind. It's too good, man. Cool. You're gonna love that. That one's long.
That's fine.
As fuck, but it's worth it. It's like just shy of an hour.
Oh, shit.
It's the main event match for the IWGP Heavyweight title at Wrestle Kingdom 11. And I think the match is like 45 minutes or something. It's unbelievable, dude. Unbelievable.
Cool. Yeah. I'm right. I might watch that one early, actually.
Yeah. It's incredible.
It feels like we always wait until like the fucking day before we record.
Well, I want it fresh on my mind.
Yeah,
you know
too.
What I mean?
It's like, I don't know.
I don't want to take notes and then be just sitting here going,
and
so
then
what
this guy did.
It's like, no, I try to watch it within the few days before we record our episodes, but still.
So we had some. I mean, it's been 4 weeks or whatever. So
I know.
We're
not going to cover everything, but there's been some cool
I tried to just kind of jot down the gist.
Biggest stuff, yeah.
Big thing, number one, is Motor City Machine Guns.
Yo.
immediately. So they immediately come in, they get a match for the tag titles, which is kind of odd, but they did it anyway. And then, so they win.
Yeah.
But there was, a little distraction in there with Jimmy and Jay and stuff like that.
Yeah, they tied it into the Bloodline story stuff.
And they allowed there to be an excuse for like, they didn't come in and just wipe the floor with the tag division.
Have you ever seen a tag team come in and go from the whole crowd? Some people in the crowd remember them from TNA.
Yeah.
But the way the commentary handled them and the way they got presented, literally, I think it was Corey Graves on commentary. If it wasn't him, it was somebody said, "Oh, remember when AJ Styles came in? This is the AJ Styles coming in of the tag team."
Yeah, he did say something like that.
And
it was SmackDown, right. So yeah, I think it was him.
Yep, and he's absolutely correct.
Yeah.
And they showed.
Yeah, he said something like it's as big an acquisition as
AJ Styles was. Yeah, and how fast those guys went from 0 to super over as a tag team.
I thought they did it well because they didn't make it like so that they just come in and squash.
No, they showed you.
Let's we'll kind of angle this in and make it so they get the titles.
Yep.
So that we can show you how good these guys are.
Yep. And we were literally just like last episode.
Yeah, we were talking.
They hadn't been in yet.
Right.
And we were going, tag team division is getting ready.
Yeah, there was a whole episode that we were talking
about. Those
about
guys came in and went, tag team's on fire immediately, and we're going to carry it.
Yeah.
And it's been awesome. They are so good. They're still so
They've
good.
defended it twice or something already.
Yeah. They're active, and they are so good, dude. Love those guys.
They're even putting them in like little backstage snippets and shit, and showing like some comedy and shit like that.
Well, when you have guys like that just waiting, you've got to bring them in and majorly use them.
Yeah,
dude.
just let them go too.
Yeah. Let them do what they do. Don't fuck with them, and they will
need to show them backstage a little more too. Like give them personality.
Yeah. They can talk. They can do everything.
Yeah.
They were having promos in the ring with Solo immediately.
Yeah.
And it was all good. They're fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dude,
Yeah, it's fucking cool.
They came in and we were all watching going, really?
Well, because WWE doesn't like to do that.
No.
They don't like to take even if they get an acquisition that's big, they don't like to just strap them up real quick.
And I only knew who they were because I didn't watch a ton of TNA.
Yeah.
Openly. Like I didn't watch a ton of it.
Well, they worked in like Ring of Honor and other stuff, I think, too.
Of course. But in TNA, they're legendary. Yeah. They're legendary. Yeah. They're one of the biggest tag teams, if not the tag team of TNA's prime. And the matches they had with Beer Money and shit, that's how I found out about them, was because I would have people telling me back in the day, you are going to go watch these matches now.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay. And now that they're back, now that they're in WWE finally, I'm like, I got to go back and watch a ton of these guys' stuff.
Yeah.
Because they're legends. They're a legendary tag team that somehow never was in.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the best way to put it, too.
Better late than never, man. Especially because they can both still work their asses off.
Yeah, I put a whole blog out about them because I know people probably don't know of them, which obviously
a lot of WWE fans don't.
I was like,
and younger guys
I'm going to do like a write-up on, their career. Mm-hmm. And I was like, because it's a lot of shit I don't know either. Yeah, so I got to research it and, look into some of that shit. So,
dude, yeah.
So that's on the blog.
Yeah, definitely read it. It's
just
good.
to get, just to familiarize yourself. But you can also go back. It's like get TNA Plus or something and watch some of their shit,
dude. Either way, very cool.
But they've been cool since
they are awesome.
I enjoy it.
Yeah, very happy that they're there and happy that the tag team division's starting to stack, man. Mm-hmm. Speaking of working towards developing better for stuff, I don't know if this is a talking point you have.
A lot of my stuff is Crown Jewel because we missed Crown Jewel.
Okay, that's fair. I was going to bring up the fact that the women's division is starting to finally roll out the secondary title lineup.
Yeah.
They have the tournament for the women's U.S. title. I'm betting they end up doing that for the IC as well. I think they can. The division's so stacked. You got to have something that matters for them to fight over other than just the main titles. And so far with that tournament, they've already used it to give opportunities to some women's talent that wasn't getting utilized as much, that is getting a chance to shine. And it's going to help everybody, dude. I love it. Love it.
Yeah,
love it,
minor belts are great because you got to
have them.
People.
Look at LA Knight with the US title.
Yeah,
right
exactly.
Now.
That kind
of stuff. You kidding me?
It helps push people over. It does. And it's like, it's like a subjective thing.
It's a really good test. Because if someone can take that secondary belt and make it matter, and it's up to them.
Yeah.
Then it's a good sign that they are going to be, you can elevate them.
Right.
So very happy with that.
Yeah. And that's great. Cause like if you have upcoming talent, you can just have them, you know, put the strap on them for a little while and
see how it goes,
Right.
LA Knight is one of the most, got the belt and just went, I'm the most over guy in the company. He was the most over guy in the company before.
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried about it because I feel like they're letting him hold the title, but they're not doing enough with him, I don't think.
Oh, I think they are. I think, dude, did you see this past?
I mean, it's mostly like Andrade.
Was it SmackDown or Raw? It's SmackDown, right?
SmackDown.
Did you watch this last week's SmackDown yet? Because I know work has been fist fucking you.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Nakamura.
Yeah,
came back and is feuding with him now.
Yeah,
perfect timing. They had this whole best of 7 thing, and they had him. He wrapped that up, fucked them over, beat them at Crown Jewel or whatever. Great match, and he gets to go on to a new feud.
Felt like it was kind of floating around.
It did for a bit with those guys. Nakamura coming in is the exact right move.
That's big.
Keep LA Knight moving past guys. Not in a negative way. He's got to face a bunch of challengers and keep defending and having new feud after new feud.
Nakamura is the perfect spot too, because
my God.
You know, if you think of where he's kind of sitting, it's like he's definitely above a minor title,
Nakamura, he's a world champion level guy,
Well, yeah, but like in the storyline, where he sits now, it's he's a gateway to the main event type thing.
He is absolutely a gateway guy to the main event.
Yeah, so I think that's a good move there.
Yeah, and the matches they're going to have are absolutely guaranteed.
Yeah, and Nakamura came back just like savage.
Oh, yeah. He's got paint and shit, dude. He looks awesome.
Very cool.
He looks wicked fucking cool.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming at all.
And he's, if they have him be a despicable heel,
that's the
and
move.
He's cutting the Japanese promos pre-taped again. Dude. Oh my God.
Yeah, please do that.
Please do that. He's so good as a talker when you let him purposely be a heel and do Japanese. Mm-hmm. He's unreal good.
You got Crown Jewel.
Yeah, yes.
So there was like a bunch of different shit on this actually that happened.
Yeah.
Crown Jewel wasn't bad.
No, it was actually one of the better Crown Jewels I've ever seen. I think.
Yeah, of course. They want to make it a bigger deal now.
Yeah, and they want to respect it and actually have it involve storylines that matters and shit. Instead of being what they've done before, where they're like, let's do Goldberg versus Taker for no reason as a gimmick. It's like, stop doing that.
For the Saudis, like that's
I get that. I get it, but they've got to.
They need to legitimize it. And I think, I know there's like a lot of people that are like, well, it's just like they just wanted to do something special for the Saudi Arabia, blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, but like they made it matter. Like,
yeah, they turned it into a major pay-per-view that fucking matters. Just like they do Bash in Berlin and all these other ones.
Yeah, and it's like, they don't keep the title, but they're not supposed to defend the title. So why keep it?
It was intended to be like the ring.
The ring is cool.
Yeah. The belt's just a visual thing.
Yeah.
And then the ring is sick. That's what it should be, is a ring that they collect.
Yeah.
And maybe somebody collects a bunch of them, but
and
maybe not.
Have fucking Tom Brady hands,
Yeah, and we're not going to see that right now. They're not. There's no way they're going to go have Cody be in every year for 5 years. It doesn't make sense.
Right. That's why it's exciting to me because
you just don't know who it's going to be.
It makes you, as a booker, it makes you want to shake up who the world champs are.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because that's what the match is going to be.
Genuinely, it was believable for both matches that you didn't know who was going to win because their belts weren't on the line.
Yeah.
So there was really no reason why it couldn't have been Gunther.
Yeah.
And in the same regard,
I thought they would do that.
I didn't know what to expect, man.
But
their match was awesome.
Yeah, it was. It was great.
So was the Liv Morgan one with Nia Jax.
Yeah, that was good too.
And same deal. Didn't know who was going to win.
I thought it was cool that Gunther was like, respectful after the match, and it's like his character is just awesome.
His character is so cool, man. He's so.
It's just like
good.
I just want to be the best, and like
that's it. Don't give a fuck.
All like overconfidence and shit, but he also pays respects to people when he knows he got
beat. Best him and it's for real.
Yeah,
he respects it.
Yeah, I love that. It's so cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I liked Crown Jewel. There was
Me too.
Rollins and Reid was a decent match.
Yeah.
Obviously, we talked about Liv Morgan.
Yep.
LA Knight retained his title.
Yep. That kind of put a stamp on that whole thing.
Yep. Which that kind of needed to come to a close.
It did, at least for him.
And then Cody and Gunther. That was a good match too. So I enjoyed it.
Very solid.
I thought it was good for what it was.
Yeah.
And like I said, I love that you're kind of forced to shake these up now, these titles, instead of having a John Cena or Roman Reigns for 4, 5, 6, 7.
We might see Cody again next year.
Yeah.
Next year.
Yeah.
But what about the year after that? You really think they're never going to have him lose that belt?
No, I think Cody's going to lose the belt sooner than people expect.
Me too. And I think that there's nothing wrong with that.
No, I think that's great. Yeah. I think that's awesome.
It's not. He's already shown he doesn't need the belt to be the guy.
No, he doesn't. He almost is better chasing the belt.
Yeah. Yeah. He's been a good champion. I've seen so many people trying to say he's not a good champ, and I'm like, you are out of your mind, bro.
No, he carries it
phenomenal.
Well. Yeah, I think he carries the belt well. It's just, I think he is built to be sort of the guy who's
chasing.
But that's how his whole story was. Like, his whole storyline has always been that way.
Yep, absolutely.
And then we go back to SmackDown real quick because Bronson Reed joins the Bloodline, the new Bloodline.
That was this past week.
And so now
everything they've been doing with this has been incredible. The setup for War Games.
Yeah, and they're constantly trying to talk Rollins into joining.
Yeah.
Which I don't think is going to happen. Then you have Roman calling.
I don't know, especially with Bronson Reed.
Yeah. Well, that's what. Yeah, that's the thing. That would be the only thing that would get him in there. But he keeps saying like, I'm not teaming with Roman. Like, that's just
no matter what. I know. I understand you guys. I get it. I'm not teaming with him.
Yeah. Yeah. And I get that. And Roman calls Paul Heyman.
And his numbers, dude, that was awesome.
That was great the way they did that too. And Roman,
and it just says executive producer Paul Levesque. And I don't remember the other guy's name, but it
makes it feel like a show, dude. That reminds me of Lucha Underground so hard. That
makes sense.
Right there.
I didn't watch a lot of Lucha, but the stuff you always told me about how it's presented like it's a show, is like.
That's the kind of
stuff they're doing now, and it's working.
It's literally like
time.
You're watching a show, and there's a cliffhanger at the end of it. And it's like, but it was so well done.
And the crew I watch with, that rocked them.
Yeah.
They were like,
Roman did it well. Roman did a good job with it too.
Oh, he's incredible.
He like let it simmer for a second.
Dude, it's like the thing they did prepping for that tag match they had of Roman and Cody versus Solo and was it Jacob Fatu, I think, right? When they did that wicked cool segment where they had them meet up in Atlanta in a football arena, just them, crazy. And they had like a quiet talk in silence with each other, dude.
Yeah,
that stuff was incredible.
Yeah, I wish they would do more. I'm sure it's like not budget. It's not budget friendly.
Well,
to do that.
but they don't need to go to some football arena every time.
No.
Like they're doing more. By doing like what they just did to end the show on the cliffhanger.
Those kind of cinematic shots are tough.
They've got to have it.
Because you're almost booking them separately as a separate gig to be like, hey, we're shooting this big promo.
Yes. And that's more on the schedule. Well, you want to be the top guys, do you? Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you're fucking going and doing the extra work.
Yeah.
You know, they're getting the extra money.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
And you're making it
way extra money.
You're making people more interested in your matches too.
Yeah.
So it's not.
Oh yeah, yeah. And these guys are they're the best in the world, you know?
Yeah.
Speaking of awesome promos though, and like cinematic stuff though, the stuff they've been doing on the flip side of that with the Wyatt 6, with the Miz, has been awesome.
Yeah, that has been cool.
And what is the Final Testament?
When
is that what they're called?
Final Testament.
Nasty. Finally.
They showed Karrion Kross in like his hotel. It was like a couple of weeks ago, and he's like trying to go out and he's going after Howdy. He's like trying to go after Howdy for some reason.
Yep.
They were like planning some shit to go after him. It's like, what are you guys doing,
dude?
man?
I love it.
And then they show Bo Dallas this week.
That promo.
And he looks like Bray. I was like, wait a minute, is that Bray?
So good.
I literally was like, for the first like 3 seconds, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then
I know, man.
He looks like Bray now. It's fucking insane.
Duh. It's his fucking brother.
He's got the whole thing, like the long hair,
awesome,
the fucking beard.
That was one of his best promos.
It's crazy.
It was so good, and it was so cool. I loved the way they have the Miz get targeted. It was just really smart. Like they swerve the crowd, but in a cool way.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, so what the Wyatt 6 does is they go after
people that are not treating their family
people
properly.
That are scum.
Yeah.
And they had history with Miz being not keeping promises with them and fucking them over and shit, right? So they play into that and they go, we were never after the Final Testament. We were after you. And then he actually feeds them to the Final Testament and joins up with the Final Testament, which is a great fit. Because he's got like the suit, the black suit, and he's just a scum. You'll never find a guy who's as good of a heel as the Miz is.
No, yeah.
Only as good.
Yeah.
Never better. That's what I mean to say. You'll find guys as good. Like Dom is just on a whole different level.
Yeah.
The Miz is that. He's one of the best heels of all time.
Yeah, he really is.
So him as a brash, loudmouth heel is just always going to be the best thing to do with him. Yeah. And so having him and like the promo they showed of him and Karrion Kross talking, where they're kind of walking back and forth into focus and cutting promo, it showed you, oh, well, we already know the Miz is one of the best ever in this role, but you're not getting to see a lot of Karrion Kross showing you in your face that he's that good.
They've done a good job of letting him do that.
Yup. That's why I said finally when I said Final Testament, because it finally feels like they're figuring out what to do with these guys a little bit.
Yeah.
Karrion Kross is a world champion, top of the company level guy.
You know, it's a totally different approach right now. Like they're edging guys into other storylines.
Yes.
And they're doing it a lot.
And perfectly.
Yeah. So and it's all mixing together. And so now, because of that, you have this angle coming this way, this angle coming this way, and then maybe a third angle coming the other way. Yep. And now you can go, let's take that route.
Yeah, dude, they did it with LA Knight's title shit.
Yeah.
Because what it was you had, LA Knight's got the belt. And he doesn't give a fuck about anybody.
Yeah.
He's just going, challenge me, I don't give a shit, I'll stomp you out or whatever. Yeah. And talking shit. And he's God tier.
It just gives you a lot to think about.
You had the feud between not Andrade. No, it was Andrade.
It was
Andrade and Carmelo Hayes.
Yeah.
You had that whole feud going on with those guys. But the reason they're feuding is this other angle where they're feuding, but it's including LA Knight, who's passing by, you know.
And it's tough. Like, so
it's tricky to make that all work.
You have to, and you got to be watching.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not watching every week, you're going to miss something now.
Yeah. And they do a really good job of recapping, and they do a really good job of producing it in a way so that if you did miss something, when you watch it again, you're not totally lost.
Yeah.
And it's okay. you'll still enjoy it. But if you're watching everything, the level is just so high of everything going on right now.
It's almost like they're putting little Easter eggs and shit, you know?
Oh, yeah.
That's so cool to me. I love the different approaches.
Fucking believable.
It's almost like you almost
fucking believable.
There's like, if you like think about it, there's like what 4 storylines on Raw, but everyone is involved in those 4 storylines.
And logically, and it's always good.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man.
I don't understand how they're doing that.
They're doing it with the men and the women right now on both shows. I'm blown away by how good WWE is right now.
One side effect you get is you get a lot of non-finishes, right? You get a lot of interference finishes.
Sometimes.
I feel like there's a lot of them now. You get a lot of like someone comes out and either distracts somebody.
Storyline things, sure. Yeah. But it's kind of expected.
On weekly shows, you get a lot of that.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of clean covers anymore on Raw or SmackDown.
Sometimes, yeah.
Well, Rey Mysterio had one.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying is I think that it's better balanced right now than it has been in the past as far as the unclean finishes on weekly shows. Yeah, I just think it's like you can just see it coming on a lot of these. You're like, I've seen this match before, but like who's gonna screw it up? Especially with Bloodline stuff. Yeah, that's the difference is it's logical. This time. Well, it has to be. Instead of just being some guy, instead of being Big Show runs in on a Jericho match and interferes and fucks him out of the win, and then the next week they're not even feuding and they never do anything with it. You go, well, what was that? Why'd he come out? Yeah, which happened all the time. It also gives you. So if you look at the Bronson Reed thing, it's like you have all these interferences one after the other every single week, and then all of a sudden when Bronson Reed shows up, you're like, what? Yeah, what's going on? And then he joins them, and it's like that. It does make it more of an impact. It's logical what's happening, and it's also logical because it's like if Solo's Bloodline is trying to ruin the lives of the OG guys, why the fuck would they ever let them have a single clean match? Why the fuck would they not be waiting to interfere in every fucking thing they did? Right, they would. Logically, they would go, fuck that. And I'm not letting him get a win. Fuck this guy. Yeah. I'll DQ it before I let him just get a win. Right. So it's logical. Well, and also just, especially with like war games coming up, they're trying to just injure everybody, you know? Yeah. They're trying to injure everybody and they can't win. They can't beat us. They're scum. They're heels, you know? War Games is looking like it's going to be incredible. And they did the correct thing, in my opinion, which is very specific and nitpicky. They did the correct thing by making sure that the women's War Game match has Io Sky in it. Yeah. You must, if you're going to do a match like that ever again, you make sure Io Sky's there because she's going to be the standout. She's going to carry the whole match and be legendary performance in it. She is unfucking believable. She's like a staple every week. And then I don't think people think about her. She is unbelievable. Yeah. Well, because she was in a tag team for... Yeah. So it's like... I think people look at her as a tag team. I don't member, you know, and it's I personally don't look at her like that. I agree with you. Right now they do. Yeah, I think. But I will never forget her world title run. Man, she was so good as the champ. Yeah, I think we're approaching a world where like you can't look at anybody as a tag team guy. Right? You can't. They are so close to having enough presented to the audience to make it so most people on the roster right now, you can't rule out of any scenario. Could work as a singles guy they could work as singles or tag and work as a main eventer. Yeah. Like they've got you could bring like, what's a good example? Well, it's like you have Bianca and Jade, and it's like both of them could be singles easy. They could be singles easy. You look at the men's Damage Control, like you have what's a good example? I just had it too. Of a tag team? No, well, kind of. Even the War Raiders looked okay. War Raiders are really good. I love seeing them back, and just as the War Raiders, like you don't have to tell us they're Vikings. Don't need to be the Viking experience. Nope. We can tell. I see them.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for.
I can tell they look like
Thanks
Vikings.
for driving that home.
Cool. Yeah. That's a very Vince in his 80s type thing, you know?
Yep. That was he had a list of names, and he goes, and
that. Yep. The whatever connection or whatever. It's like, come on, bro. Yeah,
stop putting connection.
It's not 85. Stop.
Yeah, I will say what's the one? The Pure Fusion Collective.
That's the worst. That's the worst name in wrestling right now. That's worse than any tag team name in any company to me. It just has to stop. And I think
they need to just make it more of a meme. It's gonna have
to stop.
Roll with that though, and just make it a meme.
Yep. I don't know what else to do with that.
That one's tough. That one's really
I
tough.
like all of them individually, too. Yeah, I do. I think they're all good. I don't know that that's how you use them. And I get what they're trying to do. You know what I mean? I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to give them something and get them active in the tag division and stuff. Mm-hmm. I couldn't agree with it more. You must change their name. It's just got to happen. It's not clicking. You know?
No,
it's so not clicking.
Instantly, it was just like probably
the second we all heard
it was probably it was probably trending on fucking X or whatever, like immediately.
And I get it. They're just they're throwing stuff. They're just trying to come up with something cool. Yeah, you know. And I want to see them succeed, but it is what it is. You know, that one's not working. It's just not. But overall, everything's been just incredible, man. I don't really want to talk about AEW lately because I feel like it's been so bad that, and I don't want to be negative about it, that I kind of just am like, you know, if you don't have anything good to say, don't say anything. Let's wait and see what they do with this Moxley stuff. But so far, I mean, dude, their numbers are plummeting. They're not making any real changes. Moxley himself went online or did an interview and was talking about how bad it was.
I don't know. I don't get it either because like you even get so Sasha Banks was hot, right? She was huge, and then all of a sudden she goes over there, Mercedes Moné, and like she just hasn't picked it up. Like I don't know what's going on. She's like cringy over there.
So here's one thing I do want to say about AEW. It's the one thing I'll say. I keep seeing online all of these people try to say, and Moxley's guilty. He's guilty.
Yeah.
Like, he tried to say, if we lose AEW specifically, it's going to set the industry back 20 years. And I have to address that. I am under the belief that I think AEW is bad for wrestling right now. And here's why. Because people are saying the industry's better off with AEW. I disagree. I vehemently disagree, and this is why. Let me break this down. Everybody that says that it's good for wrestling, for the industry, the only thing they're thinking about is super short-sighted, but more guys are getting paid.
Yeah.
It's actually hurting their careers, though, and here's how. These guys are getting paid, sure, but that doesn't matter. Because it's giving them a false sense. It's not giving them a reality. It's not helping their careers. Like if you take a guy like Wardlow, wicked good example. This motherfucker was feuding with MJF at one point. Now what's he doing? Where's he been? What are they doing with him? You know they're paying him good money because they're paying everybody good money. But the problem is that this guy cannot afford, and countless other guys, they're there just because they're making good money now. But it's hurting their careers being there because they're not getting fucking used, so they're not on TV getting a chance to develop a value to their brand as a wrestler.
Yeah.
So if they leave AEW, what are they actually worth? Because are they going to be able to go to Japan and make the same money? Because they're actually worth it? No,
I doubt it.
are they gonna go to, like, what's Orange Cassidy gonna do if he leaves AEW? Do you think he's gonna go to WWE and they're gonna go, we'll pay you $2 million a year? There's no chance. There's no chance. So what the problem is that it's a technical problem, but it's when you pay guys so much more than you're letting them become worth.
Yeah.
It's not helping the industry, because if they go away, the only thing that's actually going away in AEW dying is a payday for guys who can't earn that payday elsewhere, not because they deserve that payday, but because they don't deserve that payday. They don't get a chance to develop to where they can earn that money outside of AEW.
Yeah, I can see that.
You get what I'm saying?
I think Mox is approaching it from he works for AEW, but also like, well, yeah, that's the main point, is that it's his boss.
But also he's looking at it as competition is better.
Yes.
But they're not competing.
He's looking at it like this is WCW.
But it's not.
And it's not.
And they're not competition. If anything, all they're doing is paying all these guys inflated contracts to then not do anything for them.
Right.
I would not bitch at all about AEW's personal preference of style. That's whatever, right? And never mind that they sell everything and they don't give a fuck about stories and all that shit. Whatever. Take that all away. If they were paying guys good money, but actually ever building new stars out of the guys they're paying good money,
yeah,
I would go, yeah, they're good for the industry, because they're creating stars that can draw money, but they're not doing that. They created MJF.
I would argue that there was a time where they were competition.
Me too. Yeah, there was a time.
And I think that window is closed. But I think
the honeymoon phase is over and their fan base is plummeting.
Yeah. You know? And like, who are they really competing with now?
Nobody.
TNA. You know?
Yeah, which that's the other point.
And it's not like they're stealing each other's audiences, either one of those.
No. All these guys, they could go, that's the problem. The guys that are trying to look at it like it's going to hurt the industry if it goes away
it's going to hurt your wallet.
It's going to hurt your wallet short term.
Yeah.
But if you left tomorrow without AEW going away, you're not earning that money anywhere else.
No.
You know?
Right. You go to TNA. You could be the
prior WWE guys and a handful of your top guys like a Kenny Omega or something. You know?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okada could go back to Japan and go, I make millions
guys
of dollars.
That already made their name.
But they already made
WWE.
It.
Yeah.
Or elsewhere. But they already proved they were a draw at a big level somewhere. There's Jack Perry,
because
right? He's not leaving and getting $1 million contract somewhere else. It's not happening.
No, because TNA is not going to pay him that.
Yep. Sasha Banks comes in. She's making all that money. What are they doing with her?
They're going to go to Ring of Honor is where they're going to go, or something.
But Ring of Honor can't pay you $20,000 a month.
They're not going to.
They're not going to. Because they're not going to, because you're not showing. You have nothing to show them to show that you draw.
And what else is your money? You have no other option, though.
Yeah, but that's the double side of it. Where that's the specific thing that we're outlining. That's why I think AEW is actually bad for the industry, how they're operating right now. Because if you actually gave a fuck about the industry, if you're overpaying guys, you would at least fucking use them and try to build them into a draw so that they can be worth the money you're paying them. Because then when they eventually leave your company, then they show whether or not they're actually helping the industry.
Yeah, essentially you're saying that overpaying these guys is essentially giving them a false idea of what they're worth.
Yes, and then when they eventually leave, if they leave, because dude, AEW cuts people. What happens if they cut Ricky Starks? Different level, because he actually has shown that he's fucking good.
Right.
And they're not using him. So they're just waiting for him to fucking leave and go to WWE. We all want him bad in WWE. Yeah. He is made for that shit. He's going to be a big deal. He's the only one. What happens? Like Jack Perry's such a good example. Nobody's drawing. You know, nobody's drawing, and it's not even necessarily their fault when they could have a chance to get over and draw, but they're just not even getting used, you know?
And it's not like WWE's clamoring to get Jack Perry.
No, they don't need anybody from AEW right now. Literally anybody. The only people I could see them really going, we must have that guy, is somebody like a Kenny Omega or a Kazuchika Okada. Because you're talking about two guys that are some of the best on
Earth.
It's
like, I think, they would want them, but I think they don't need. They don't need anybody. They're so much.
It's the craziest roster of all time.
Their roster's deep, and even if it isn't right, they still understand how to manage it.
Yeah. Yep.
Like you got guys, like you have people coming up that I think are ready to be like minor women like Tatum Paxley and like some of these
NXT girls. Yeah, oh my God, NXT is so good right now too.
I think they're all ready to be called up, but like, where do you fit them in? You already got all these angles going.
You just don't call them up, and they're the stars of NXT.
Sure,
they've got 3 shows that are working right now.
Yeah, why not let NXT be good? NXT
they don't have to let it. It's crazy good.
Right. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I get what you're saying. You can make NXT not as good by calling these people up.
Yeah, and then,
but you don't want to.
No, no, and they don't necessarily want to, right? Because it's not like they're getting paid dog shit.
But also, they're in total control of that. They can say, "Hey, you're going up to Raw this week."
Yeah.
And you have a match with X or whatever.
But you're an NXT talent.
Yeah.
But you're gonna
same way you see SmackDown, like Nia Jax shows up on Raw or whatever.
Exact. Yep. And they've already shown they will do that.
Yeah.
Both ways too. They have guys from the main roster, a lot show up on NXT and get involved in stuff. Good. Yeah. Good. I just the list of things in AEW is so long. There's not enough time. And I don't want to just sit and rant about AEW. I just wanted to address that specific thing that, like, I hate when I see people say that the industry's worse off without it. From my viewpoint, it looks like the industry right now is actually getting hurt by the way AEW is operating. And they don't have to operate like that. No. They can be a huge benefit to the industry.
I never really looked at it that way, but
yeah,
that does make a lot of sense to me.
That's what I'm saying. Nobody looks at it that way, but it's like,
because and a lot of these guys are guys that are over the hump in a lot of ways.
Some are, but some are young up and comer guys that they could build into stars.
Yeah, but
they're too stop start with
the
everybody.
Guys they didn't have to build into stars were guys that were already WWE veterans or whatever.
Those guys are going to draw everywhere.
It's like, Moxley could come back
tomorrow and
go,
we're a Shield reunion,
and he's part of the War Games team or whatever.
Yeah, tomorrow he could show up and go, I got this, and people would go insane and blow the roof off the building, and AEW would be going, oh no, our top guy, fuck.
Yeah,
who do we have that can replace him? Daniel Bryan's retiring. You know, it's they aren't building guys that can carry a company and actually draw.
Well, it's the root of what we've been talking about before is they don't have storylines that allow characters to be built.
Yeah. How do you sympathize with a guy just because he's in random match number 57?
Yeah. You can't build build a character if you don't have a reason to root for the character.
Yeah.
And that just doesn't they don't treat it that way.
Yep. Yeah.
They look at it as, let's get a guy and that people already know.
Having said that, they did just get the Warner Brothers deal, and I'm very hopeful that they will capitalize on that and make the adjustments they need to better that situation. I want to see AEW succeed. I want to see it good. Yeah. I've seen it good. I know it can be good. It ever has been. Like the way that was working when they were doing the Hangman Adam Page build up to when he finally won the AEW world title, all of that was so good because it was story,
dude,
and it was long-term booking. It was awesome.
I mean, it wasn't even that bad. Even like 4 years ago, like I was watching during COVID, and like some of that was,
and that was early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's like, this isn't. I don't understand how it's gone the way
But
it has. This
Moxley's
is their deal.
He's going to full reset the whole product, and if he actually is, we'll see. You know,
I think this is their chance right now. This is sink or swim. Here.
Sink or swim. Just got a big deal.
Yeah.
No, if they under deliver, Warner Brothers is going to go, you serious? And they're just going to cut them loose, and it's over.
Yeah.
It's over after that. Look at TNA. TNA is still around now, and they're having a big resurgence, but they had so many dark years when they were fucking just floundering to even remotely get a TV deal.
Yeah. TNA is like fucking Ethereum. It's all over the fucking place.
Yeah, and right now it's awesome, though.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, dude. They had great years, too.
I just hope AEW doesn't fall for the same bullshit, you know? As like WCW. It's weird how similar
the parallels
it is.
Are crazy.
It's weird, and they hate it, and they
no
refuse
one wants
to acknowledge it.
Yeah, no one wants to say that.
Nope, except for only guys like Bischoff, and everybody tells Bischoff he's a scumbag and he's a hater and all this. He's the only guy in the position to know.
I did that.
Yeah,
I was there.
And he's calling out all the mistakes, and then sure enough, they happen, and they go south, and he's right, and he doesn't just sit there and say, I told you so. He sits there and says, I want to see him succeed. They've got to do this different. And it's so bad now that even Conrad is going, all he ever used to do is be a super apologist and be like, well, all right, and try to just like fucking shut down whatever Eric says. Even he's now going, I can't believe I'm saying this, but what are they doing? It's like, man, they've got to make a change. And it looks like right now they're trying to figure out what that change is. You know, it does look like it, but it remains to be seen. It remains to be seen.
I think that is the biggest thing. Just make storylines that are worth tuning in for.
But it's the one the problem is
their whole focus is not on storylines. Is the problem?
If they do long-term booking, storylines, incredible work in the ring, not incredible, credible, meaning cool. You can have these guys do flips and shit. Cool. Yeah. How about have them wrestle with logic though, so they sell? Yeah, and it makes sense what they're doing.
Their whole marketing thing is not about.
They can never do the one thing that works because their whole MO was we're going to show everybody that we can get big without doing the stuff that you all say we have to do for it to work. Like they'd have to admit they were wrong about how the product works to correct the ship, and they just don't want to admit
Tony Khan is not going to say he's wrong about it.
He's a sicko, so he refuses to acknowledge it. And he will not change it. And that's the only thing they must change about their product for the ship to correct and to start getting viewership.
You can't be glorified indies.
You can't be There's a reason why we're not all obsessed right now. We're waiting on the edge of our seat to watch the next Pro Wrestling Guerrilla pay-per-view.
Right.
There's anybody that likes Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. Why don't they do billions of dollars a year in revenue? Oh, because there is a format that works.
Right.
Yeah, that's my point. So and you're dead on with that. For AEW to correct course and really start to expand and be as big as they could be, they're going to have to go back on the one thing they refuse to go back on.
They can only be as big as their that audience is. That the audience that wants.
And it's why the casual viewership and the big numbers have been shrinking and shrinking and shrinking until it levels out at a few thousand people a night. When it levels out at a few thousand people a night, those are cool. That'd be cool. I'd be as a guy who played in bands. If all I could ever do was a few thousand a night, I would be very happy with that. But not if I'm spending $100 million a year.
Yeah, you gotta weigh that one there. Yeah. The red number is a lot bigger than the fucking green one.
Yeah. So I think that the financial aspect of it is what forces them to figure it out.
Yeah.
Otherwise, just run an indie. It's okay. Nobody's going to shit on you for running an indie.
It can just be an indie.
Don't try to act and present like you're this big alternative brand. Just be an indie and own it. It'll cost you way less money.
Because that's what they are at heart anyway. You know,
that's what it seems like. Yeah,
I think they are.
I think so as well, because that's where their fandom comes from. You know,
right? All their fans are just indies wrestling fans.
Yeah, and so is Tony.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, yeah. We're like, we don't want to talk bad about it.
No, it was worth addressing, though.
Yeah,
it was worth addressing. You know. And that's the thing. I'm being very careful. Nothing I said is me just shitting on AEW. It's just fact, right, whether anybody likes it or not. You know? None of it is based on my personal opinion. If I had a personal opinion on it, then I would say things that would be worse. Yeah. Because I'd be talking shit about the way that the guys wrestle or some shit. Not going to do that. Everybody's entitled to what they like. Business and numbers don't lie.
But it's all pretty objective, is what they need to do.
The things we're talking about is objective things. And that's why it's important to bring it up, because it's a big thing happening in wrestling right now.
Yeah, do they make the adjustment or not? You know?
Yep. And I feel like we mostly talk about WWE lately, because there's nothing good to talk about with AEW, so I just wanted to address that.
Well, that is
why. That is that whole thing. That's why
we're just wrestling fans. Like, we're gonna gravitate to what's good.
That's it. That's it. If AEW starts killing tomorrow, we're not gonna be able to miss the show.
Right.
My group of friends that I watch wrestling with, we're all gonna watch AEW every week too. It's gotta be good enough to be worth watching. That's it.
You have to convince me to come over there.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, because it's just, because how do you look at what WWE is doing and just be like, I'd rather watch AEW? I don't understand that.
People really do that, and it blows my mind. And they go, go watch that fucking Vince McMahon shit. And I go, it's not Vince McMahon shit. He's been gone for over 2 years now, and the product has completely 180'd. You wouldn't know, though, because you're not watching WWE.
Yeah.
I'm trying to watch AEW. I'm doing the thing you're not even trying to do.
They don't know any of these, know, people that are working in WWE now, but it's like, because you didn't watch them get developed.
Yep.
You haven't seen the way that they've been handling this. You know?
Exact. It's so hypocritical.
Yeah, that's tough. I hope they make the right moves. But
me too. I'm the guy sitting here saying I want them to succeed and I want them to do it right. It doesn't have to be WCW 2.0.
I just don't see it. I don't see it happening.
Here's the thing. WCW ran for decades before it went out of business, though. It actually did.
Well, they had a lot of money just to keep fucking spending.
Well, it was an NWA territory, too, and that's not fair. You know, it was Jim Crockett Promotions or whatever. And then Turner came in, and that's a whole different thing, the history of WCW. But WCW existed in the 80s.
They have con money, though. It's like...
AEW?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's different level.
Yeah, they have time. They can flounder for years, dude.
The absolute worst thing that could happen to AEW, worst or best, it might be for the best, would be if Tony's dad came in and went, it's done happening. So if you're going to keep funding it, get profitable or the door's shut because I'm done paying for it. That'd be the best thing that could happen for AEW because, one, it would expose to them internally.
Yeah.
The reality of their situation and how they're actually hurting the business with how they operate. And then they'd have to course correct or the doors are shut.
Yeah.
You know?
It might be what it comes down to.
I don't know. That's another thing. We'll see, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't know. That's it. That's all.
That is it for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
We did an hour.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah. Yep.
So we did all our swaps. Yeah, we're good to go.
We're good to go.
All right. Yeah, thanks for watching. Go to the website. Check out the blog. You can follow all our Showdown Swap picks on the website there. Other than that, go to dubby.gg and you use our promo code.
Oh yeah, it's good stuff.
And that'll be it. So we'll see everybody in 2 weeks.
Hell yeah.
Later, man.
Adios.